I'm sure everyone wants to know more about me making my morning coffee, but instead of that, there's a more important topic, which is ChatGPT and how it can help you become a better coder, whether you're starting out coding or you've been doing it for a while. We all deal with code and inheriting projects, whether they're art projects or coding projects or just stuff you find around the office and just don't know what to do with. Sometimes you have to go revisit code, whether it's your own or someone else's, and you might need a way to describe that code. So ChatGPT will help you understand the code without having to go through it line by line. You can ask it to describe the code, and it will generate these paragraphs describing what's going on in there. And if you spend a few moments, this totally beats reading line by line. It gives you an overview of what's in this file. It even knows that Blender is being used for converting file formats, which is excellent. Maybe you have a question about a single line within everything. And so you can ask ChatGPT, what does this line of code do? And just like before, it'll give you an answer. It'll focus in on that one line. And so you could explore in a very normal way what's going on with this one file or a bigger project and giving you insight into how everything works and even more information than you probably even need to just make a small change in the file. But it's great to understand beyond your task what's going on because we're always learning. The next part is, of course, to add comments to the code, because if there were comments to begin with, maybe we wouldn't need ChatGPT. And I wished it worked this fast, but for what it does, it works fast enough. And in the end, after asking it to add comments, it adds comments to your code. So now you could copy and paste this back into your file, but make sure to test it before committing it because you never know if something went wrong. But here, it looks all readable. Other coders and myself in the future would be able to read it. And so that's great. Now, one final thing, and it's the thing that we all might hedge on, how can this code be improved? If it's your code, you might already know that you're perfect, but maybe the chat GPT doesn't think you're perfect. And it can give you some insight, maybe a little more than you were expecting. But it also can give you some tips that are not exactly right because it's asking me to use an image library when this is about converting FBXs and GLB file formats. It also gives me another tip that isn't relevant to this code because it's not returning files. It's all about moving around data. But for what it did, it saved so much time, gave so much insight. Whether you're starting out to be a programmer exploring interactivity or you've been doing it for a while, it opens up a new path to explore what you created and also see it as that friendly intern who doesn't mind going through line by line and commenting the code when you forgot to do that, though you should always be doing that. You may notice that we left the coding part in ChatGPT screen a while ago, and now we're back to watching coffee be made, which is not a metaphor for anything other than I like this coffee machine very much. I hope you enjoy your morning coffee too, and also explore ChatGPT and different ways to boost your creative process and your productivity by having someone to bounce your ideas off of or explore your own creation and get that help when unexpected little messes happen